Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. Let's take a lesson from the baseball alphabet. Special K. A Houston hurler lines them up and sets them down in record fashion, helping the Astros drive toward a division crown. RBI, the trademark of a Reds legend who's retiring at season's end, and Cincinnati fans turned out to bid farewell. Big A, scene of the first no-hitter in almost 2 years. But when the hoopla was over, the division still belonged to California. JR, short for James Rodney, one of the game's top pitchers until tragedy struck. So stay tuned, because we'll spell out the ABCs for you all right here on This Week in Baseball. Celebrating our 10th anniversary.
I'd like to wish This Week in Baseball a happy 10th anniversary.
National League. Houston closes in on our crown with a record-setting show.
Now Jim's going to think this one over a little bit now. He's got 7. He's working on 8 in a row to get this ball game underway. This is amazing. 8 consecutive strikeouts. Every player is up on the railing, applauding along with the crowd. Look at him, everybody.
For Jim Deshaies, a modern-day record for strikeouts to start a game. In June, the White Sox Joe Cowley set down 7.
I had a pretty good fastball, and I just decided to go out tonight and keep going at them with fastballs until they proved they could hit it, and it worked pretty well. I've had, I think, maybe 10, 12 days between starts, so my arm was well rested. I was just a little bit concerned whether my rhythm and my mechanics would be there because I'd been off so long. It's kind of a catch-22. You know, you're well rested, but you might be a little bit rusty, too. But it turned out that the rhythm was there, and the fastball had some pop on it, and I decided to go with it, and it worked.
Everything worked for the Astros as they headed toward a Western Division title, but they played some unusual games along the way. Los Angeles ace Fernando Valenzuela became the league's first 20-game winner this year when he shot down the Astros on a 2-hit shutout. First 20-win season of his career, and the first Dodger to win 20 since Tommy John in 1977. In Houston's previous series against San Diego, the Astros were victimized by Tony Gwynn, who stole 5 bases in a losing cause. Gwynn is only the 5th player since 1900 to steal 5 in one game. Last player to do it, Alan Wiggins with the Padres in 1984. In the next game, Gwynn sparkled on defense, helping rookie Jimmy Jones make an outstanding Major League debut with a 1-hit shutout, in which he retired the last 19 batters in a row. But it was only a brief pause in Houston's pursuit of its first division crown since 1980. Now let's look in on a salute to a great retiring Cincinnati Red.
This is something I never think is going to happen to me when I start my career back in 1960. I want to thank everybody, my teammates, the Cincinnati Reds organization, Marchat, love you, Johnny, Pete, all my teammates, Bacon Seccio, my ex-roomie, and all my friends who come from all over, Puerto Rico, New York. Really, that made me feel, I don't know, I guess I feel like Tony Perez, I guess.
What a feeling. 23 years in the majors, a key part of the Big Red machine that won 6 division titles, 4 pennants and 2 world championships in the 70s, 7 all-star appearances. Yes, Tony Perez has come a long way.
I signed in Cuba, I signed as a shortstop. You know, that was my position. I was skinny, tall, and they have all the positions. The only one they need somebody to play was the second base. And I was hitting well, and they want me on the team. They asked me if I play second base. I say, yes, I played second base before. The Reds signed Pete, no, it was in June or something like that. They signed Pete, and they moved me to third.
By 1972, Perez had moved over to first base and provided much of the power for an awesome team that is considered to be one of the greatest of all time.
We win in 70 with Bobby Tolan, and Lee May, myself, Pete, Davey. And then the Fosters and the Griffiths and the Dreesens came up, and Geronimo, and we got a great ball club. I mean, we put everything together, and tell you, in 75, 76, I don't think any team, can match us in that time. Put 8 guys in the field together, because we have a great ball club.
It wouldn't have been as great without Tony, and Cincinnati fans knew it, sticking with him even through a slump in the clutch.
75 World Series against the Red Sox when I went 0 for 15, and that was something I never forgot, because the fans here in Cincinnati, they are still behind me, they stick behind me. They always hoping for Tony Perez to come through, and I did. And the first game, I hit 2 home runs, and they come out of slump. And then I hit another home run in the 7th game, and we won the series. And I never forget, that one of my biggest series, too.
RBI-wise, I don't think I've ever seen a more consistent player knocking in runs over the course of 2 decades. So, a lot of players, I'll just look at him and you can learn good days, bad days, even days, but a heck of a lot more good days than bad days. And he's a perfect example of just a player that brings the same attitude to the ballpark every day, whether he's 20, 30, or 40. I've seen him do it all 3 ages. I even seen him do it at 18. He's one of the big reasons why baseball is such a tradition here in Cincinnati.
But Perez was traded by the Reds at the end of the 76 season to Montreal. 3 years there, 3 more with Boston, and he went to the Phillies and helped them reach the World Series in 1983.
Tony Perez is a real fun guy, a real competitor, makes you smile, makes you laugh, keeps you loose. Probably more important than all of that is if you ever want a guy to give you a quality at-bat, a good, tough at-bat with a man in scoring position, it's been a credit to the game, and he helped me in my career, and we loved him when he was in Philadelphia.
Nothing against the other city or anything like that. I enjoyed myself everywhere I went, but Cincinnati is something special. I think this is home for me.
He retires at age 44 with more than 1,640 RBIs, 15th all time. But parting will be bittersweet.
It's just like people with just getting divorced, walking away from somebody who's been together for a lot of years, and get away from something I really love, and I'm never gonna hear the fans cheer for me, when I'm on the field anymore, when I come to bat. I have to sit down and say, well, just thinking you have a great career, and they're already having a day for you, and things like that. It's not too many players get treated like that, and I'm very pleased with my career and the way the people here in Cincinnati and all over the United States treated me. Really, I really appreciate it.
You earned it, Tony. Best of luck. And now let's open the notebook for This Week in Baseball's TWIB notes from around the National League. St. Louis Cardinal Vince Coleman became the 2nd player ever to steal at least 100 bases 2 straight seasons. Ricky Henderson was the first.
Look at the lead Coleman has. He's scoring.
There he goes.
Don't even throw it. It's useless.
And number 100 for Coleman.
Coleman was the first to do it in each of his first 2 seasons in the majors. Philadelphia pitcher Jeff Bittiger lost his major league debut in early September, but he came back to beat Pittsburgh in his next start and contributed to his own cause with a home run. It was 24-year-old Bittiger's first hit in the majors, and it stood up as the game winner. How about that? Pedro Guerrero is back in the Los Angeles lineup and steadily returning to the form that made him one of the game's top hitters. He blasted a homer in the win over the Astros, a good sign for Dodger fans who feared his career might have been threatened by a serious knee injury suffered in spring training. Meanwhile, teammate Steve Sachs is making opposing pitchers suffer. His 21-game hitting streak is the league's longest this year. And with an average near .330, the Dodgers second baseman is battling for the league batting crown with San Diego's Tony Gwynn and Montreal's Tim Raines. Now this week's quiz brought to you by Nissan, who invites you to test drive the tough new hard-body trucks, proven winners in design and performance. Detroit Tigers shortstop Alan Trammell has connected for 20 home runs so far this season, a career high, while second base teammate Lou Whitaker has 18. But for this week's quiz, name the last shortstop and second baseman on the same team, each of whom homered at least 20 times in the same season. Stay tuned for a pair of socks. American League. In California, the Angels were briefly brought back to earth.
Ready to work. To the Sensei. Ground ball to short. Could be two. Kelly has a no-hitter. Joe Kelly has pitched a no-hitter. A no-hitter for Joe Kelly.
First no-hitter in the majors in almost 2 years, although it wasn't a pretty one, because Cowley walked 7, 3 in the 6th inning, when the Angels scored an unearned run.
I had problems in that one inning, where I walked everybody and got in a little problem, and it kind of made me forget about it. But after that next inning, I went out and shut them down and come back in and sit down. I was feeling good, and I looked up at the board, and it was 7th inning, and I says, oh, my goodness, I wish I could bring in Roger Clemens for the next 2 innings. But the main pitch that got me out in the double play was DeCincy. I was keeping the fastball away from him with the cut fastball. I knew Ozzie was going to turn it like he does so many times, and there it is. I loved it. Finally got the no-hitter. There it is.
It was only the 6th complete game of Cowley's career. But way to go, Joe. California came back to win Game 2, and in the finale, John Candelaria put on an excellent pitching performance. The Candyman getting some sweet help from his friends as he allowed only 1 hit through 7 innings and struck out 8, getting the win to go 8-2. When it was over, California was tantalizingly closer to clinching the West. Also standing tall was 40-year-old Reggie Jackson, who cracked home run number 17 in Game 3. In California's previous series against Kansas City, Jackson belted numbers 14, 15, and 16 in 1 game, driving in 7 runs. Yes, sir, looks like Mr. October might be rounding into form at just the right time. In the East, Boston's dynamic duo share a Longhorn connection. Starting pitcher Roger Clemens and emerging relief ace Calvin Schiraldi teamed up when the University of Texas Longhorns won the College World Series 3 years ago, and now they're cleaning up for Boston. 24-year-old Clemens is a cinch for the Cy Young Award, 24-4, leading the league in strikeouts and tops among starters in ERA. 14 of his wins have come following Boston losses. Also 24 years old, Schiraldi came from the Mets in the Bob Ojeda deal, and he's become the bullpen stopper with 9 saves since early August with an ERA below 2.
Last year we had 59 save chances and we only saved 29. This year we're in the high 30s and we'll end up in the 40s, and that's what it takes to be on a contending ball club.
I thought since I got moved over to relieving in spring training that I'd be up in Pawtucket all year. I hadn't relieved very much, and I just kind of figured they'd let me stay down there all year and just give me a full year in relieving to see what happens maybe later on. But I'm getting a chance to contribute, and that's really all I want to do is contribute to a winning team, and I'm really having a good time doing it. And as long as we win, then everything's all right.
Indeed it is, with this pair running the show on the mound. Now, let's review this week in baseball's TWIB notes from around the American League. Yankee Don Mattingly is a complete hitting machine, battling Boston's Wade Boggs for the league batting championship, 28 homers, 105 RBIs, a 23-game hitting streak, the longest in the majors this year, and a chance to break the team record of 231 hits in a season set by Earl Combs in 1927. Teammate Rickey Henderson has 27 home runs, and 8 of them have led off a ball game, breaking his own league record of 7 set just last season. Ranger Pete Incaviglia has provided lots of power, but also lots of strikeouts, breaking the league record of 175 in one season and setting a new major league mark for rookies. But Oakland's Jose Canseco could end up with both records because he's right behind. Now, let's find out the answer to this week's Nissan quiz. Boston Red Sox second baseman Bobby Doerr and shortstop Vern Stevens were the last two middle infield teammates to each blast 20 homers in the same season. 30 for Stevens, 27 for Doerr in 1950. Earlier this summer, Doerr was inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame. You know, fans, when big leaguers try to reach out and touch the ball, it can be a matter of monkey see, monkey do. Hey, man, don't monkey around. This is supposed to be serious. Well, maybe not. When you play like that, it's tough to get the monkey off your back. If we don't bring an end to all this monkey business pretty soon, I just might go ape. Hey, is that on the tape? Now, let's drop in on a big league joyride with fielders who know how to cool off opposing bats. First up, California's Doug DeCinces, with help on the other end from Bobby Grich. Milwaukee's Cecil Cooper. Brewer teammate Rick Manning with a fence climber. For the Chicago Cubs, keep your eye out for Ryne Sandberg. Atlanta's Glenn Hubbard to start off a sweet double play. For the St. Louis Cardinals, Vince Coleman. A game-ending grab against the Mets by the Phillies' Steve Jelks. Baltimore rookie Ken Gerhart on the run. San Diego's Greg Nettles. Back to the Braves for a home run robbery by Ken Griffey. Texas Ranger Toby Harrah starting off a twin killing. And finally, Toronto's Jesse Barfield with a perfect peg to the plate. It's time for This Week in Baseball's 10th anniversary flashback, 1979. James Rodney Richard of Houston was the last Major League pitcher to strike out at least 300 batters in one season. He did it in 1978 and 1979.
They used to have stats on certain guys, how to pitch certain guys. I never did listen to those stats. I always had the idea that I was the best. And I wanted to prove myself as being the best. That's why I ran harder. I worked harder than anybody else on the ball club at that time. A lot of people couldn't realize why I'd done the things that I'd done. And that's why I guess at that time I was 240 pounds and 5% fat because of my being in such great condition.
Despite his strikeout marks, JR's proudest of 1976, only 20-win season of his 10-year career.
That time when I won the 20 games, that meant a great deal. It was against San Francisco. They scored first. And I said, if they beat me, the scores will be 1-0, their favor. And so when dinner, as the game went along, we got a few runs and I hit a home run, I knew it was all over. I felt like I was on top of the world, but I never have had that great feeling like I had in the 1980 All-Star game.
Richard started for the National League and struck out 3 in 2 innings, including Reggie Jackson. But tragically, just 3 weeks later, he suffered a major stroke that nearly killed him.
I knew something was wrong. All of a sudden, I felt a lot of ringing in my ear, a real loud, high-pitched tone ringing in my ear. Then I felt nauseated. Then I just laid down on AstroTurf. And then Jim York, which was a trainer at that time, who stayed back to look over me and watch me work out, he came and started putting cold towels on my forehead and said, "Jay, are you all right? Jay, are you all right? Jay, are you all right?" like that. But I remember laying there. I remember hearing the ambulance when it came down the ramp. I remember the guys talking, picking me up, putting me in the ambulance. I remember talking to the guys On the way to the hospital, I guess I just went out.
And what followed was a long and painful process of rehabilitation, motivated by his dream of one day returning to the majors.
I went through rehabilitation at times, man, where I darn near cried. Not to do it because I didn't feel like doing it. My total left side was paralyzed, and I couldn't walk, but I walked anyway. Determination, willpower, belief that I will. Who is better to believe in yourself than yourself?
Richard fought back and actually pitched at the AAA level before finally facing the hard fact that his career was over.
There is a reason for everything that happened in life. Maybe sometimes you or even I can't see the reason, but there's a reason.
J.R. had a career record of 107 and 71, possessing an unsurpassed competitive spirit.
A long time ago when I was a young child, back then my father told me, he said, son, always be better than I am. Be better than have your kids have better things than what I got. That's why I always wanted to be better, shoot marbles better, throw the baseball harder, hit the ball farther, run faster, play basketball better, and do everything better than anybody else. It's just been something within me all of my life.
What a sparkling inspiration. And that's all for now, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.
The Tribe takes on the Seattle Mariners in Channel 43's last baseball telecast of the season, tonight at 10, live from the Kingdome. The Herb Scores Sports Show is next on your favorite sports station, Channel 43.